if you're getting older, or you're like me in your 40s and you're worried about spending the rest of your life being single, I just want you to listen to this story. Now, yesterday I was on Facebook and I was scrolling through, and a story came up. There was a couple celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. Now, it was all lovey-dovey and everyone was saying, you know, they were both saying how great they were and how happy they were together. But there was a problem. I knew half of that stuff wasn't true, right? I know the guy she was with has cheated on her countless times. I know there's been domestic violence. I know they argue non-stop. I know they've gone through countless problems. Now, don't get me wrong, no relationship is ever perfect. If you've been with someone 20, 30 years, you're going to have arguments, you're going to disagree, you're going to have ups and downs, and that is perfectly natural. But I don't think cheating and, violence are acceptable in any form of relationship. Now, I'm not a marriage counsellor. Obviously, I don't have qualifications in psychology or relationship counselling, but there's certain boundaries I don't believe you should cross. And I don't, there's a lot of things that I don't think any human being should put up with. So remember, if you are single and you see people on Facebook posting about how great their lives are, now don't get me wrong, some couples are happy together and are well suited, and that's great. But a lot of the time you have to remember Facebook and social media is a highlight reel, okay? It's the good parts that they want the world to see, not, the arguments and the violence and, the toxicity that goes on behind closed doors. I would personally rather be on my own than be with someone who's constantly cheating on me, being violent and making me feel bad about myself. People seem to think when women get older, you get more desperate because your biological clock's ticking, and there seems to be this, popular saying at the moment, women age like milk and men age like a fine wine. Well, if I age like milk, who cares? I'd rather be, old and, happy on my own than be with someone who's toxic and not going to treat me right. As long as you take care of yourself, and I don't think this saying is true, whether you're male or female and you don't take care of yourself, you drink, smoke, do drugs and don't exercise, you're going to look crap when you get older. I'm 45, as I already said. I've put in the odds in my favour. I do exercise every day. I don't smoke or drink, and I take the best. I try and take care of my skin, and I'm trying to be the best I can be. Can I define time and ageing indefinitely? No, of course not. I'm going to get old, but hey, that's life. I'm grateful I've got to the age I am. Some of my friends didn't make it past their 20s, and the fact that I've got to 45, I feel honoured. I'm privileged to be that age. I'm not, ashamed of it. So guys, if you are worried about being on your own, don't worry, because not every couple you see is happy, okay? Not all this, fluffy la-di-da stuff on Facebook, half the time isn't real. So guys, just work on being the best version of yourself. Make sure, have a good circle of friends, and just concentrate on your own life, and believe me, the right people will come to you and they will stay.